Happy Wednesday, IFL Nation. Welcome to a surprise edition of Wager Wednesday, as we are just 3 days away from the big game between the Vegas Nighthawks and the Green Bay Blizzard for the right to be named IFL champions for the 2025 season. Last week we had gone over in detail kind of the previews of each of the teams, how they match up against one another, and an analysis of the predictions that were offered on DraftKings, which has been my book of choice for the past 3 years of IFL betting. However, there's another book out there, Bet365, that is also offering games throughout the IFL season. So today we are going to look at those and see how they contrast with DraftKings. So DraftKings on the left-hand side of your screen, Bet365 over on the right-hand side. So we'll talk about Bet365 first. As you can see, they've got a different team favored here. Really a testament to how close this game really projects. But they have the Blizzard as the 1.5 favorite. The key thing to note there is the difference in odds on either side of the spread bet. So minus 115 for Green Bay, which represents a slightly abbreviated payout in comparison to Vegas plus 1.5, which carries odds of minus 105. That's typically an indication that to this point, Bet365 has taken more action on Green Bay's side of the spread than they have Vegas's side of the spread. So with the idea of making sure that the money is as even on both sides as possible prior to kickoff, they'll shift the odds, usually the odds first before they alter the spread at all, to see if more people are enticed on Vegas at that number. So that is the story of them on the spread. The over-under is significantly less. It's a full touchdown below the current 93.5 at DraftKings, at 87.5 over at Bet365. The money line payout, Vegas plus 120 and Green Bay minus 140. The thing that you may note, if I close my other screen down here, is that on Bet365 you'll see this SGP icon on the bottom right. So that is usually a sign that same game parlay is an option available on Bet365. One of the advantages that DraftKings does not currently offer. So the idea behind the same game parlay is you take two outcomes from the same game. In this case, it's an over-under wager, followed by your choice of either the spread or the money line. And the goal is to come up with a winning pair of picks there that results in an enhanced payout. So if you're along the lines of thinking, okay, I really like the Vegas Nighthawks to win this game at plus 120, and I also believe that over 87.5 points are going to be scored, you can go ahead in here and select both. And you'll wind up with a two-leg same-game parlay for an enhanced payout somewhere around the plus 275 neighborhood, if I were to guess on this one. The important thing to note about same-game parlays in a general sense is that the odds of the individual legs will not necessarily calculate out to a true payout. So for instance, if you were to take a two-leg multi-game parlay where each leg is from a separate game, a couple of minus 110 legs should result in a plus 266 wager. It's not uncommon to construct these type of parlays in the same game, though, where let's say you select a spread bet and an over-under. You might wind up getting less of a payout, around maybe the plus 220, plus 230 neighborhood. neighborhood. That's because of a couple different factors. Number one is that books love to juice the heck out of these same game parlays. They know how popular they are, and they want more of a cut of any potential winnings that bettors get. So that's the underlying concept of it. But another big reason is the fact that some events are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Typically, if one team wins, they'll usually wind up hitting the over or the under in a disproportionate percentage of those games. So that's something else behind the scenes mathematically that gets baked in as well. So from here, if you're in one of the 8 states where both Bet365 and DraftKings are up and running, and I will get those states over for you in just a sec for those who are curious. Just need a moment here to bring it up. All right, so if you are in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina, Tennessee, or Virginia, any of those 8 states, you have both options here. So if you really like Vegas, plus 120 over at Bet365 is probably your optimal choice. If you like Green Bay, you're probably looking at the plus 105 over at DraftKings. If you are enticed by the over in this game, Bet365 gives you the most wiggle room at 87.5. If you're unsure, you think maybe more defense-oriented this game, the under at 93.5 at DraftKings would be your move, which, by the way, was 99.5 during last week's analysis. So that line changed in a hurry. The differences in the 2 books here, and this will be my last little narrative here before signing off, is the fact that Vegas is plus money at one book and Green Bay is plus money at the other book. That means that there is a combination of wagers that you can make on Vegas at Bet365 and Green Bay at DraftKings, where regardless of the game's outcome, you can manipulate a profit. Doesn't matter who wins. This is something out in the betting world that's known as arbitrage. Sportsbooks hate when you do it, but there's absolutely nothing illegal in doing so long as you're betting in a state where both regulated books are legalized. But I do have a note. I'll bring this one up as well. Give me a quick second to pull that up. All right, here we go. So, if you wanted to make a quick $100 on this game and wanted to lock it in, guarantee it, there is a path to doing so. Step 1, Bet365. Put the Vegas Nighthawks money line for $805. On DraftKings, bet the Blizzard at plus 105 for $864. If you happen to have that much money kicking around, which, I know is something there to be said about that, so definitely thin ice to kind of walk on there. But in theory, if you have that money, you put $805 on Vegas plus 120, you put $864 on Green Bay plus 105, guaranteed profit of at least $102. So pretty wacky, wild stuff there. You could apply a similar concept to the over-under. Betting the over at Bet365 and the under at DraftKings, which ensures that at least one of those bets will win, with the baked-in sweet spot between 88 and 93 points. That's a full touchdown plus PAT of wiggle room still, where there is that path to both bets winning. So if you happen to put, let's just say for sake of argument, 110 on both, you're either losing a small $10 in comparison, or you win both bets and you take home $420. So a decent chance of doubling your money and another chance of not losing all that much in comparison. So that concept is called middling, where you spot this kind of difference in both books and try to capitalize on that murky middle scenario that they fear. So yeah, that's all I've got for this episode. If you're looking for the full lowdown of the big game itself, definitely check out last week's video. I will link that in the description for you as well. But that is going to do it here, with this officially being the streaming series finale of Wager Wednesday for the 2025 season. Before I hit the stop recording button here, got so many people to thank out there for what has been an outstanding season. First off, the Indoor Football League as a whole, from the organizations, the teams, the front offices, all the way to the players. For putting on a spectacular show, sacrificing your bodies, putting them on the line week in and week out for our entertainment, for really not much of a financial gain, all things considered, but I digress on that respect. But absolutely appreciate everything that you guys have to offer, the work ethic that you put in. The on-field product has never been better. I'll put it that way. So thank you to the IFL, the teams, the players. Thank you to Angie and Monica, David, Heidi, Jess, all of the leadership over at the Sports Coast to Coast Forum. Basically 4 years ago, you took in a unknown kid, big Pirates fan from just outside Boston, and it's been a thrill to help with the growth of the forum, providing the comprehensive coverage that we've been able to churn out over the past year, 2-3 years. It's been a treat, and it's really been my delight to chip in and help out with that. And lastly, I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in all season long, showing interest in the IFL, hopefully sharing it with some friends of yours as well. Because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. This great league, it's an opportunity for growth, for players, fans to tell their stories and seeing where it can lead them. So, really appreciate the interest. And yeah, so that's really all I have for today. Thanks again for tuning in, hopping on, and I'll see you guys Saturday out in the desert. Have a great night.